Hey everyone, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. This video is something different. This is going to be the tag amongst the YouTube community for the top must-have blends for fall. And I decided I would kick this off and start tagging people, and let's get it going all throughout the community. Fall is such a favorite of a lot of us out there. You know, whether you have a channel or not, a lot of us love fall. I recently put a poll up on my community page on my channel. Are you ready for fall scents, or are you a Christmas scent person? And I think most people answered fall. So I was thinking today about, I want to do some of my favorite blends for fall. There was a tag going around this summer about the top 10 must-have scents for summer. So I thought, let's go ahead and just do it for fall. But I'm not restricting it to 10 scents. I'm just going to do my favorite scents for fall. Because some of us are team apple, some of us are team pumpkin, some of us are sweater weather, some of us are none of the above. So I just thought this would be a really fun video. Let's get interacting with each other and let's really see how different our tastes are or how similar our tastes are. So I went through most of my collection. I didn't go downstairs and go through my overflow storage. I know I say that tongue-in-cheek, but it really is overflow storage. I didn't go down there and look around because I don't really have a ton of fall blends down there. I have most of my fall up here in the living quarters where I am most of the time, because I do melt fall throughout the year. I do try to scale back on it in the spring and the summertime because I really melt the hell out of it in the fall and the winter time even. But if you watch me, you know that I've started melting fall pretty much. I started in a little bit in July, and I definitely did it in August. So I wrote down here, in case I get sidetracked, because sometimes I go off on a tangent, some of my top must-have smells for fall. So I also went through my collection and I grabbed some scents that I am going to be chopping and melting and enjoying in the next few months in our home. And I think some of you have some of the same, and maybe these are going to be new ones for you guys to discover. So at the end of this video, I will name 3 people to tag and to keep this going throughout the community. So I will also tag those people in the description below. And if you haven't followed those people, then go ahead and follow their channels. I'm going to post their handles. So here we go. Pumpkin. Let's start big. Go big. Pumpkin. Pumpkin. You either like pumpkin or you don't like pumpkin. And pumpkin can be any pumpkin. You can have fresh pumpkin, no spice. You can have pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice is tough for me. Sometimes I think it smells stinky, putrid, not good. Pumpkin spice is a very fine line for me. You can have pumpkin breads, which have that bakery note that sometimes pumpkin spice doesn't have. Pumpkin spice can be just straight on spice. You have your cinnamon, your allspice, your nutmeg, all of those things there in a spicier blend. Or you can add the bakery component to it with your breads and have pumpkin breads. But sometimes it's very, it's kind of like making a pumpkin pie. If the spices are not right, it can really go south really quickly. I know, for example, my husband, who is a pumpkin pie aficionado, however you say it, loves it. I have to make a pumpkin pie at least once a week, maybe every 2 weeks, as soon as October hits, until like Thanksgiving. And then after Thanksgiving, it's like he forgets about it until the following fall. So pumpkin spice, he has a very particular recipe that I use that he likes. He also tries pumpkin pies at different grocery stores, frozen pumpkin pies, etc., and they're just not like the one I make. So very, very simply, he doesn't care for the spice ratios that some other bakeries or other big companies like Marie Callender's and such, although Marie Callender's has amazing pies, but you know what I mean. Sara Lee, he doesn't care for Sara Lee. He would take Marie Callender over Sara Lee. So something like that. So pumpkin. Let's see what I have pumpkin in here. Now, some of these blends here can fall into different categories because they are mixed with other different notes that could fall into the fall. So, fall into the fall. Isn't that cute? Okay. I'm going through my blends here. Okay. Pumpkin. Pumpkin. So, first one out of the gates. This hits a couple of categories. Actually, you know, I think I want to name you what I have first, and then we'll go from there. I have pumpkin, and then I have pumpkin patchouli. Pumpkin patchouli is a candle, actually, pumpkin and patchouli is a candle from Bath & Body Works. It was either last year was the first year, I think it was, or maybe it was the year prior. Pumpkin patchouli is pumpkin, patchouli, sweet cinnamon sugar, and something else, I think. But it was a screamer popular candle at Bath & Body Works. In fact, I just lit it downstairs for a few hours, and now I blew it out because I came up here. So I love that candle. And Sassy Girl Aroma, if you do buy from that vendor, she has a really, really, really good dupe for pumpkin patchouli. I think she calls hers pumpkin maze. I have it, but I didn't get it out of my Sassy Girl Aroma area in my collection here that I'm going to talk about on camera. But I do have it, and it is an outright straight dupe. It's great. So that takes pumpkin into an earthy spin. So pumpkin is versatile in that way. Then I have pumpkin pecan waffles. Of course, pumpkin pecan waffles is pumpkin, maple syrup, waffles, and pecans. And you either love it or you don't. Pumpkin pecan waffles, of course, is so versatile. It can be blended with coffee, bakery, other bakery things, strawberries, you name it. You can blend it with anything. Lavender even is really good. Salty Sierra is really good. Cider Lane. That's quintessential wassail, cider lane, caramel apple, delectable yumminess that so many of us love. Plain apple. Now, apple, there's many apples out there in the wax world. There's Mac apple, there's Fuji apple, there's green apple, there's Applejack, which really isn't even apples, but it's a concoction of something. I know L3 carries it. I personally haven't smelled it, but I know that it's crazy popular. I haven't really seen a Red Delicious apple, but I'm sure that oil exists somewhere. Next, we have Sweater Weather, now changing gears from the sweet and the savory, the fruity, to Sweater Weather, which is more outdoorsy, fresh, masculine, if you have. I love Sweater Weather. Butterscotch. Now, butterscotch is a tricky one for a lot of people. Butterscotch can be very, to use Jenny Gilmore's term, aggressive. It can be very aggressive. I personally love butterscotch. Butterscotch blends beautifully with bourbon. I think bourbon and butterscotch is one of the best single oils out there. It blends beautifully with pumpkin pecan waffles, by the way, and beautifully with Cider Lane. Butterscotch, you can mix butterscotch with zucchini bread. You can mix butterscotch with tobacco. You can mix butterscotch with brown sugar pound cake, peanut butter, pumpkin pecan waffles, like I said. Just go crazy with it. Butterscotch is, if it's a little bit too strong for you on its own, then blend it with something that, you know, you enjoy bakery-wise. That's my suggestion for butterscotch. Chai tea. Chai. It's chai season. Chai, of course, is a tea, and it has a lot of yummy, warm, comforting, cozy spices that a lot of us love. Blueberry. Now, blueberry, I don't really know where blueberry really lives in terms of seasons. Yes, blueberries are, you think about fruit in the summertime and being in season and such, but I also like blueberries in the fall time because you have, you know, a lot of people bake more in the cooler months and in the colder months than, you know, in the spring and the summer. There's more salads and more cold desserts. But I love blueberry muffins, blueberry pancakes, blueberry waffles, blueberry compote, blueberry bread, you name it. Blueberry is something that I do grab for in the fall. Bananas and banana nut bread, specifically banana nut bread. Now, banana nut bread is one of my favorite oils out there. It's another versatile one, like zucchini bread. You can blend it to whatever you want, and it's probably going to work. And finally, I wrote down cranberry, because cranberry is I melt cranberry all year, but of course cranberry is a fall fruit. I mean, most tables at Thanksgiving have some form of cranberry. My family growing up, my grandmother, who I never met, my mother's mother, she used to make this cranberry salad that my mother made in our home, and I make now in my home. It's one of my husband's favorites. My aunt, Barbara, who, if you watch my channel, that was my husband, I think, if you heard something outside. My Aunt Barbara has a banana nut bread recipe that she's been making for 70 years. And I have that now, and I do make that in my home. So those are family recipes to me that I will always have. She, my Aunt Barbara, makes a special type of cranberry with celery, and she serves it on lettuce leaves. Some of you might have that in your home too. Cranberry is something that I have to have in my home. What is the Bath and Body Works? Not Harvest Cranberry. I can't remember what it's called. The cranberry scent that Bath and Body Works has every year. I have to get that in some form, whether it's soap or a candle or a wallflower. I have to have cranberry in my home. So in a nutshell, those are the scents that I have to have, must-haves for fall. So let's talk about some yummy blends. First one I'm going to grab is Swanky. This is apple pumpkin strudel. So now we have pumpkin and apple living in the same world. Of course, Jeannie chose to make this into a strudel. So a little bit of bakery. You can have this with coffee, you can have this plain, you can jazz it up with another fruit of your choice. Cranberry would go great with this. In fact, I have Jeannie's, Swanky's cranberry salsa around here somewhere. I think it's over in my melting tote in my next Ready to Chop. So when I do that next chop and chat in October, I'll get to talk about that one. So apple pumpkin strudel is one that I bought this last year and I never melted it, obviously, and I thought it's time to melt that now. Let's see, what other apple ones do I have here that I can talk about while we're on the same track? Apple. Buried Alive. Buried Alive. This is L3. This is mac apple, pretzel, sea salt caramel, and whipped cream. Caramel is another one I should say is a really good fall scent because caramel, oh, that smells so good. Caramel goes with apple naturally. Caramel can go with coffee. Caramel can go with zucchini bread. Caramel can go with pumpkin. Caramel can go with, you name it. Just blend it. Go for it. This is something that I bought this last October. This was actually part of, L3 does a Halloween, not a Halloween contest, but they do a Jen gets murdered and you have to figure out where and with what weapon and who and all that stuff. Buried Alive was one of the blends that she released around Halloween last year, to hype up the season, the spooky season. So Buried Alive is going to go over into my chopping basket. That's apple. Do I have any apple over here? I have a little bit of apple right here. I have apple right here. Apple. And I have apple right here. And apple right here. Lots of apple. I love apple. So this next one here, Fall Yoga Pants by the Fire. This is Sassy Girl Aroma. This one is a couple of years old. So I'm finally going to use this one up. I have another brittle that I actually was working on and finished, and I didn't realize I had this older one, so I've got to use this up this year. It's still good, but it's lost just a touch of its strength. So Sassy Girl has an excellent shelf life. I have my oldest brittle. I actually just finished up it. I think it was from 2018. I got it in a D-stash years ago, and it still was good, but it had lost a little bit of strength, but I could still identify what it was, of course. This is Cider Lane, pumpkin pecan waffles, caramel, and marshmallow fireside. If I'm not mistaken, this is on the pre-order that is open right now on Sassy Girl Aroma. I don't remember, or maybe it's in the Halloween sampler. It's in something with Sassy Girl Aroma this weekend. So if you are one that hasn't tried this one, check it out. It's a really good Cider Lane pumpkin pecan waffle masterpiece, I'll say. This is one of her most popular blends in the fall time. This, of course, falls into the pumpkin pecan waffle category too. I'm just going to stick that there just in case. This next one, oh, another one I forgot to say is Leaves. Leaves Bath and Body Works is right up there with Sweater Weather. It's a not a bakery at all, but it's one of those quintessential yummy fall spice to all get out blends. This next one is a recent custom of mine that I got from Kay's. Carla Meredith owns Kay's. This is Leaves, Caramel Popcorn, and Apple Harvest. So what I was going with this one was a little bit of leaves and a little bit of apple, because apple is a component of leaves. So, you know, if you're looking to blend it at your leisure at home, you know, just think about what would you want to eat or what would you want to smell with an apple. You know, you're not going to put apple and, let's see, what's something extravagant? You're not going to put apple, well, apple and licorice. We'll say that. Maybe there's somebody out there who likes apple and licorice. I probably wouldn't like that, but, you know, you wouldn't really think to put those two things together. Licorice is one of those ones. I was going to put Meyer's Returns from Sassy Girl in this lineup, but I know a lot of people out there are a little scared and a little bit nervous about licorice outright. Meyer's Returns is it's licorice, black licorice, and buttercream, I believe, and some form of cake. And Julie blended it beautifully. It's done very, very tastefully. It's Licorice Bakery. So that's another one I'm going to have going in my home. There's something similar to that on the lineup for the pre-order also this weekend. So this one here is going to be going in my home. I, of course, have already melted a few of these here, and it's spectacular. I have Kay's. I put Kay's in my tea light warmers most of the time. So this is one that I'm going to have going in my home too. Love that. Apple. This next one here is Swanky. This is a new one to me. This is from the coffee sampler that was in the pre-order prior to the one that just closed, of course. This is coffee bean, apple butter, warm apple pie, and ice cream. Apple butter is so good. Apple butter on banana nut bread is really good too. Apple butter over vanilla ice cream is fantastic too. Try it if you haven't done it. Pumpkin butter for that. Pumpkin butter over vanilla ice cream is good too. And then you could also pour hot coffee over vanilla ice cream like they do in Italy and have that. And it's fabulous too. So this one is, I've never put apple and coffee together, but Jeannie, being the blend master that she is with her refined nose, made it work. This apple butter and ice cream, apple pie, and coffee, it's a-okay to me. That's apple. This next apple one is a last year's custom of mine. This is Fat and Sassy. That was my name for this blend. This is Apple Caramel Crunch, Bourbon and Butterscotch, and Cornbread. So Apple Caramel Crunch is just an apple caramel bakery crumb or a coffee cake situation. I don't remember what the actual description of the oil is. But this has been curing for a year and 2 months. So this is nice and cured. That butterscotch and bourbon just accent that apple caramel so well. And then you have that richness and graininess from the cornbread that adds that kick of bakery. This is fantastic too. That's an apple one that's going to be going in my home. And do I have any more apple ones? Let's just go into pumpkin. This is Pumpkin and Peanuts Brittle. This is Sassy Girl Aroma, of course. This is sugary sweet caramel brittle saturated with salty peanuts and pumpkin seeds. This, of course, is the Bath & Body Works dupe for their pumpkin peanut brittle. Pumpkin peanut brittle. Now, to me, it's just plain peanut brittle. The pumpkins are pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds, to me, there's a couple of oils out there that are pumpkin seeds that really kick you in the face with pumpkin seeds. But to me, when I smell this blend here, I get mostly peanuts. So peanuts go beautifully with a lot of things too. I mean, that's, I think, why fall just has captured so many of our hearts out there, is because fall is It's warm, it's comforting, it's cozy, it's nostalgic. It makes you feel like a kid again. It makes you feel like you're home, you know, and mom is at the stove or in the kitchen baking, and you know, just those yummy memories, and trick-or-treating and Halloween time, and you know, having haunted houses and the holiday times. And you know, fall technically goes into the middle of December, but we like to cut it off at Thanksgiving, and then Santa Claus explodes. So I like to take fall into my home into December. And then of course I'm melting a little bit of pine and candy canes and whatnot in my home, but then I also extend that into January and February. And then really in March is when I really just start picking up stuff that you can melt all year long. And I also do that now, but I try to interject a little bit more fall into my life now. So I am just so excited to get this going. I had 2 brittles of this. I finished one last year, and then this one I'm gonna get going in my home. I already melted one line of this up here, and it's good. I love this one. And this is another blend from L3. This is Pumpkin Peanut Brittle, and today is October 3rd. Now, I know today is October 3rd is not a fall blend. It's Palo Santo, Sugar Cookie Royale, and Toasted Marshmallow. But the name is fitting. Today is October 3rd, from Mean Girls, of course. So this one here, I will tell you, I'll be honest with you, the Pumpkin Peanut Brittle from L3 is not a BBW dupe. It is similar. So a few of us have talked about this over the last year or so. You know, they've asked me, Ashley, is this a dupe to your nose? Because it's not. I would say, I mean, not I would say, I know it's not. Because this one right here is the actual dupe. Julie had this one duped. This is the true Bath & Body Works Pumpkin Peanut Brittle. This one here is very, very close. And in a blend, it works because, you know, you have that other, what other oil or oils that you're blending with the Pumpkin Peanut Brittle. It kind of, you know, it takes that little bit of saltiness, a little bit of that punch of the peanut down a little bit when you're blending it with something. So for example, this one right here, I smell it. And I smell today is October 3rd. The Pumpkin Peanut Brittle comes alive on warm. I mean, it is strong on cold, but in this blend here, today is October 3rd, is also strong. I mean, Sugar Cookie Royale. Jen has one of the best Sugar Cookie Royale oils out there, in my opinion. And this one, this is a good blend. I've had this for a year and I haven't used it because when I bought this last year, I was using the season prior's fall. So now I'm using last season's fall if I bought, you know, anything last fall. So that is Pumpkin Peanut Brittle. And next, let's talk about a little bit more pumpkin, shall we? I'm going to move these over here. I really didn't have a structure to this video. I just wanted to sit down and talk about fall and some things I want to have going in my home, and then I'm going to spread the love around, and hopefully the girls that I tag will keep this going, and you know, we can really see what fall is going to look like in each other's homes. So this next one is one that's near and dear to me that I've had plenty of in my life. This is IHOP. This is IHOP, and I have a good bit of Sassy Girl Aroma blends here, but I must say Julie makes incredible blends, but she's really good at fall ones. She's really good. She really knows how to blend pumpkin pecan waffles, if you ask me. And pumpkin pecan waffles, maple syrup and brown sugar with caramel and coffee. If you like any of these notes here, and you haven't tried this one, please, please try it. I have had probably 7 of these brittles since I discovered Sassy Girl Aroma 2.5 years ago. I've had 7 brittles. I don't know why I never bought a loaf, but I didn't, and that's okay. But this is such a good one. You have caramel, you have coffee, you have the bakery yumminess and gooiness from the pumpkin pecan waffle. You have a little bit of extra pecan. You have coffee. That coffee, I mean, right now, pumpkin spice creamer is all the rage. Pumpkin spice lattes, all of that stuff is is the key. So if you like those things, then why don't try it in this wax here? This is a really good form. I know there is pumpkin spice latte oil out there, and I don't particularly care for it because it can be a little burnt to my nose. And with that being said, I know that sometimes caramel can be a little burnt to someone's nose. And I find, if that's the case with caramel, to use Jenny's word again, aggressive. Caramel can be aggressive. If you find that's the case, add a little bit more of something creamier to it. You know, you could even use sweet cream. You could even use whipped cream, vanilla ice cream, or something that has the creamy aspect to it to kind of take that aggressiveness away from the caramel. That's just my opinion, and that's what I would recommend if something is too strong in the caramel world. Okay, next, we talked about those ones. Let's talk about blueberry. I have one blueberry blend here. This is Miss Dessa. This is Dessa's Homespun Scents, Dessa Bonner from Gilbert, Arizona. She is, Dessa has been in business for, next year will be 10 years. She's been in business for 9 years. She's a one-woman show, pours out of a spare bedroom in her home, and she's working on the pre-order right now that will ship at the end of October. So if you ordered anything from Dessa's pre-order, this was on the list. I hope you grabbed it if you like yourself some blueberry waffles. This is Main Street Blueberry Waffle. This is Belgian waffles topped with blueberry compote. Now, I don't know about you, but there's something with a blueberry muffin and there's something with a blueberry waffle. Blueberry and breakfast and maple syrup and butter just go together. Just like coffee and milk, or just like, you know, a bee to honey. You know, that's a bad analogy. Forget I said that one. But you know what I mean. It's just, there's something with a blueberry muffin. You know, yes, there's a banana nut muffin, and yes, there's a cranberry orange, which is fabulous too. You can have a gingerbread muffin. I've had that before. And you can have a bran muffin. I know. I'm a 90-year-old man. I've said that before. I love my bran. I love my grape nuts. I love unfrosted shredded wheats. I love all those things. But that's what makes me me. So there's something with a blueberry muffin. I can't resist it. If the blueberry muffin is there, or it's, you know, in 7-Eleven, you know, when my husband and I go into the office together, when he drops me off in the mornings, I go into the office. We stop at 7-Eleven sometimes, and if there's a blueberry muffin in the case, I probably buy it. Even though I shouldn't buy it, I do, because it just sucks me in. You know, it just sucks me in. So this one here, even though it's not a fall scent, it's like, you know, I saw, you know, on one of the late night talk shows, I think whoever does Mean Tweets, I think it's Jimmy Kimmel. Back when they did Mean Tweets, you know, they did the Hollywood version. It was Ethan Hawke. You know who Ethan Hawke is. He, what the hell was he in? Oh, so many things. This is the first thing popping into my head is Training Day with Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke. And it's like, you know, Ethan Hawke doesn't look like he would be an actor, but he kind of slipped through the cracks, and everyone was like, okay. And blueberry doesn't really, to me, I don't think of blueberry in the fall, but it kind of can work because it works so well with so many warm spices. So many warm, you know, you can blend blueberry and pumpkin together is phenomenal. Blueberry pumpkin patch from Bath & Body Works is phenomenal. It just works. So this is good. If you haven't tried Dessa's waffles, she has another one too that is a pumpkin blueberry waffle, and it's just as good, but this has a little bit more of a kick of blueberry to it. I've had both. I prefer this one. The blueberry is more pungent and punchy in this one. This one is fantastic, and it smells like Eggo blueberry waffles, which is my childhood. I would eat 2 Eggo blueberry waffles. Sometimes I'd buy strawberry Eggos. Well, my mom would buy strawberry Eggos, but blueberry was my preferred. So the next one I want to talk about, this is one that I didn't really put on the list, but I guess can fall into fall and winter. This is Wassail. And oh my God, it's Scentsy. Ashley has a Scentsy product on her channel. And, you know, back before I knew better, and this is not against anybody who buys Scentsy, because I have a good bit of wax friends who buy Scentsy and love Scentsy and are Scentsy reps. But when I found vendor wax, you know, I started tapering off buying retail. You know, Walmart wax just didn't do it for me anymore. And Target wax and Hobby Lobby and Michaels and Joann's and whoever the hell else sells retail wax. And it's funny because I live in Utah. There's a Scentsy rep on every block here. I mean, we're right next to Idaho, which is where Scentsy's from. I purchase Scentsy one time a year, and that's at the state fair. And the one of the founders of Scentsy has a large booth at the Utah State Fair. I didn't know that until this year. I went last Friday with my husband and my mom to the state fair, and I bought 5 bars like I usually do every year. And this was one of them, Wassel. Love Wassel. I saw the card in the bag, so I checked out who did I support, and it is the founder or one of the founders of Scentsy. So I'm like, okay, that's great. No wonder they have 1,000 bars at their at their booth at the fair. So Wassel is apple cider. Mulled cider, not just apple cider, mulled cider. It has the malting spices in it. The cinnamons, the nutmegs, a little bit of allspice, maybe a little bit of ginger if you're ballsy. You know, Wassel. I saw this and I grabbed it because I thought I don't have just a plain Wassel scent. You know, you can have mulled cider, but it's always blended with something else. So I thought, okay, Mr. Scentsy, I'll try this one from you. And it's in my collection. So I do have a Scentsy bar. I know. Next one, this is in the banana category. Do I have any more banana ones here? No. The banana category. This is Harvest Scone. This is a dupe for Yankee pumpkin banana scone or banana pumpkin scone, whatever it's called. This, I only have one brittle of this. I only used one row because I fell in love with this. I haven't seen this offered, although I'm sure it has been. I just haven't been, I don't watch the list every Friday or every Thursday, you know, whenever Julie posts it. I don't watch it because I don't want to buy every week because, I mean, she makes it very easy for us to buy every week. You know that. You know, if you're watching this and you buy from Sassy Girl, you know that 9 times out of 10, if you look at the list, you're going to buy something. So I try not to look, and I really do. And I tell myself, you know, if I see it and I don't want to buy anything, I just forget about it. And I know it'll come back sometime. That's what I tell myself. But I bought this last year, November 22. This is creamy pumpkin and sweet ripe bananas, baked to perfection, and finished with a drizzle of vanilla glaze and a dash of cinnamon. And I am not lying when I tell you, you can smell this through the bag. This is so strong. Now I use 2 pieces at a time in my warmers, with the exception of my hot plate, my tea light warmer, excuse me. I put 3 in here. Reason being is that 1, it burns much hotter than a hot plate or some other small wattage warmers out there. 2, I really want a nice explosion of fragrance. And 3, if I put a 3rd block, to me, I find I can get 3 to 4 more hours out of that blend. So really, if I know I'm having a busy day at work, and I work from home most of the time, if I'm having a really busy day and I know I don't have the time to get up and change my wax every 4 hours, I'll put an extra cube in my warmer. Now, when I'm using something like this, I really only need 1 in a hot plate warmer. So that would mean I would put 2 in my tea light warmer. And that works for me. This is a very strong oil. Now I have the Real McCoy, the candle, the Yankee candle, in my candle closet. It's one that's very, it's funny because I got it last year. I bought it last year. I didn't light it. Apparently it's a very hard one to get because it's so damn good. But it's nice that Julie has the oil that we can get at any time, because I don't know about you, but most of the time I get better performance from my wax melts than I do candles anyways. And before I found Vendor Wax in January of 21, I was strictly a candle girl. I mean, I have 400 candles roughly in my candle closet. I was a candle fanatic. And I love my candles, I do. But wax has grabbed my heart. Wax is the true love in the home fragrance department for me. So this is a really good, you have to like banana though. It's creamy banana, not fake artificial candy banana, but creamy banana, like you're going to make banana nut bread. You have to get your really ripe, almost black bananas, and then you peel those, squeeze that out where the sugar is just exploding, and I beat that up with my spoon and get it like baby food soft, and I put that, fold it into my banana nut batter, and that's my banana nut bread. That's what this smells like. I don't get too much pumpkin. That might just be part of the bakery part, the bread part of this, I should say. So there's that one. This is a cranberry one from Dessa's. This is cranberry, Cabin in the Woods. This is warm balsam, sandalwood, cedarwood, cranberry woods, and seasonal spices. And why I grabbed this one is it's cranberry. I will be honest, I'm going to wait to melt this in November when it's Thanksgiving month, because this just is a little bit, I don't want to say too wintry for me, but it's got that nice transitional feel to it, to where it can go from late fall into early winter. So that's what I'm going to do with this one in my home. Sweater Weather is coming up next. Sweater Weather. This is Boys on the Side with Sassy Girl Aroma. This is Julie's take on Sweater Weather. Now, Boys on the Side, unless she's renamed it, this I got last year, but this is described as greens, mint, apple, peach, musk and moss, blackberry, and cotton candy. So it's Sweater Weather with blackberry and cotton candy, because those two aren't native to Sweater Weather. So this has that Sweater Weather kick, but a little bit of sweetness to it. So I'm going to get this one going. I bought this and I thought, it's kind of weird to mix blackberry and cotton candy with Sweater Weather, Julie, but it works. Albeit it works. It does. And I'm going to melt it. I only melted one row of this one last year, and then I put it away and, grabbed it for this video because I'm going to use it. But the Sweater Weather blend that has my heart is Lambo Leap. I just talked about this in my L3, my RG haul earlier today. My little haul that I made. This is Sweater Weather, Cider Lane, and Vanilla Bean Noel. This is, you have to like Sweater Weather to like this, although I do get a small kick of caramel apple. This is a Sweater Weather blend that's going to be chopped up. It's double bagged because it's strong. That's going to be chopped up in my life. A couple more blends here, and then this video is a wrap. Another one that's going to be going in my must-haves for fall is Swanky. This is Russian Tea. Now, Russian Tea, this was offered in her last pre-order. Russian Tea, my first experience with Russian Tea was when Vivian sent me a random act of kindness, and she gave me a sample cup. You know how Jeannie does her samplers. It was a cup of Russian Tea. It's basically mulled cider with cinnamon. Now, you have to like cinnamon, and cinnamon in this, it's slightly spicy. It's not red hot cinnamon like hot tamales or the red hot hearts at Valentine's Day. I hate hot cinnamon candy, so I'm not going to melt it in my home. I can handle a little bit of cinnamon that has a little bit of heat to it, but not red hot, fire dragon, burn your nostrils, hot cinnamon. There's some of you out there that love that. I'll give it all to you because you can have that. This is Russian Tea. So somebody asked before the pre-order, what is this one like? And so I commented and I said, you have to like cinnamon to like this blend. if you like mulled cider and malting spices with a little bit more cinnamon to it with a hair of heat, then that's what this is. So this I'm going to melt when it gets cold. It's a little too warm to melt it right now. I mean, it's going to be 80, 81 this week, which is still warm for cinnamon. This is going to be after the first frost, and maybe a little bit of flurries are in the air, and this is going to be for late fall for me, but this will be in my home. I have two more here, guys, and this is from one of the newest vendors in my life. This is Second and Spruce, owned by Miss Erica Kane from Pittsburgh. This is another butterscotch chai tea blend that I failed to grab earlier. This is smoked scotch tea. Now, this is a little bit of a different blend. This was attractive to me because, for one, you don't have butterscotch blends very often, like we talked about earlier. And two, mixed with chai tea, that's so brilliant. This is good. This is Palo Santo, butterscotch, chai tea, waffle cone, and vanilla bean Noel. This I actually had in my chopping basket. I'm going to put it back in there because this is going to be in my home coming up in this month. Coming up in October. And what I love about Erica, she's such a sweet girl, and she's hometown girl to me. She puts these little graphics, this is a little tea bag here, on her labels so you know what you're going to be smelling. Like a tea blend or a coffee cup for coffee, or, you know, an apple for apple, and that's just so cute. And the last one here I want to talk about is blackberry and caramel apple. This is Haunted Carnival Nights, Second and Spruce. This is marshmallow fireside, caramel apples, funnel cake, cotton candy, dark berries, and smoke, hint of smoke. This one is going to be yummy because we have caramel apple with dark berries, which to me is blackberry. And this is very unique. I like this one because you get caramel apple, yes, but you have marshmallow fireside, a little bit of blackberry, and a whole lot of mysteriousness. So that's what I'm going to have going in my home. So that is my video on my must-have blends and what's going to be melting in my home for fall. So the next three ladies I'd like to tag to continue this one going is Maggie, and I believe her channel is, I think it's Maggie GL, Maggie. Next is Summer, and I think her channel is at Summer Michelle. And then finally, I wrote down Catherine King, and hopefully Catherine can get some fall goodies going in her home. So Maggie, Catherine, and Summer, I hope you do your videos and tag as you please. So hope everyone enjoyed this video for fall. I'm not going to do a fall collection video like I did last fall. It was actually almost a year to the day that I did my large retail, and I did a vendor wax collection video of all my fall blends. So if you're interested in seeing what I had or have in my home, then check out my video from last year where I talk about all of my yummy fall retail and vendor wax. So hope you guys have a beautiful weekend, a great week ahead, happy fall, and I'll see you soon.